Can people actually change? You always hear everyone saying that people never change, or sometimes they say you can change. There's a very big contradiction, and every time someone does something bad, they say, oh, people never change because they acted in a bad way. And it makes sense. Yeah, that person didn't change, but that doesn't mean that you can't change. It doesn't mean that someone can't change. I have my specific opinion and perspective around this topic, and I want to share it with you. I do believe that people can change and at the same time not change. And also I will tell you how to change, because you can do that. If you don't like something about you, you can change it 100%. I want to try to explain everything that goes behind all of this. Okay, if you don't know me, I'm Shanti. Welcome back to the Chantyverse podcast. So today we're talking about change, and I want to start from saying that we are constantly changing. Literally, we are always evolving. So it's impossible to stay the same. Even our body is constantly regenerating. The cells in our body are constantly, being renewed. The main thing when we talk about someone changing, it's more about their mind. We as humans, but like every other living thing on this planet, we are born and then we grow till the time that we pass from this earth. And around this time, we are always growing, always evolving. And it's literally impossible for you to be the same person that you were when you were a child, or literally being the same person you were last year, because events happened, situations happened in your life that made you grow and made you change. Now, there are certain things that really still stick with you, that make it seem like you are always the same, that you're always stuck in the same patterns, that nothing is really changing, but that is actually on you. Before getting into that, basically what happens is that in our mind, we have so many different versions of ourselves. As we grow and evolve, all of the past versions of us, they are still in our mind, they are still in our brain, in the subconscious mind, and even though we don't remember certain things, they are still affecting us. So it's like you kind of have multiple personalities inside of your brain, but those personalities is just past versions of you. I was listening to the AB Talks podcast, and I was specifically watching the episode with the wizard Liz, and she said that we have multiple inner children. It's totally true, because you are not just a version. In your entire childhood, you were not just one unique version, because the person that you were when you were 3 years old is different from the one of 5, is different from the version of you of 8 years old and 10 years old, because you had different experiences, you grew, you had a certain type of events happening in your life that helped you grow, maybe even traumatized you, but you were not always the same person. So let's say that your life was amazing till you were 5, then a traumatic event happened when you were 6. Now this new version of you, it's different from the 5-year-old version, and those two versions live inside of your subconscious mind. And the reason why I'm saying this is that people don't really change unless they decide to change, because all of the past versions of you still live within you. And if you don't release the parts of you that you don't like, they will still be inside of you. And this is when people say people never change. Yeah, because they're still acting as the past version of them. Instead of evolving and learning from that past version, they're just staying the same. They're being stuck. Let's say that you have a person in your life, and specifically for women, we love the idea of fixing a man. I can fix him. Many times we want to fix people. Fixing someone, changing someone, it's something that we cannot do. For you to change someone, you literally are gonna just waste your time unless that person wants to change. It's true, people never change because they don't want to change. And if you sit there and wait for someone to change for you, you're disrespecting yourself. You are allowing someone to determine how much freedom you have, because you're gonna literally consciously decide to be stuck with someone that doesn't want to be better for you, and you're just gonna be there hoping that you can fix them, you can change them. No, you can't. Of course, change can happen in the positive. It can also happen in a negative. So it's possible that, like you meet someone, they were amazing, then something happened, something switched in them, and they changed, and they are now a worse person. That is not your job to bring the previous version back. We are in control of who we are, and we need to stop justifying people for the way that they act. We see this many times. And first of all, for you to feel like you are entitled to change someone, it's, as I said, kind of disrespectful for you, because you are just gonna sit there waiting for something to change. Well, most likely nothing is gonna change because the other person doesn't want to change. But it's also disrespectful to the person, because maybe in their mind the way that they are is okay. And now there are certain situations where the person is 100% wrong and they need to change, but sometimes it's just a waste of time if you sit there and like, please change. You cannot change people. I remember this couple that I knew when I was a child, and they were kind of unhappy, I would say. And this woman fell in love with this man, and he was in love with her, but he was a smoker. He was addicted to cigarettes. He would smoke, and she hated the smell of cigarettes. She hated when he would come home smelling like cigarettes. So she asked him, please stop smoking, and he promised her that he was gonna do that. Guess what? He actually didn't want to stop smoking. He didn't see that as a problem. He actually liked smoking, and he kept smoking. He just lied to her. He started saying, oh no, I didn't smoke. It was a lie, because he did. And then she started smelling that the smell of cigarettes, and she knew that he lied to her. And she still stayed with this person because he kept telling her, yes, I will change, I will stop smoking, But you know what? This person really didn't care. This person wanted to keep smoking. They liked it. It was an addiction. And this woman, for the idea of, yeah, I can change him, she stayed there, and she had to literally be with a man that lied to her. He was doing something that she hated so much, and yet she stayed with the hope of him changing. That is so disrespectful to you. And in this case, he should have stopped smoking, because cigarettes are bad. She tried once, she noticed that it didn't work, she should have left, because there's nothing that you can do if someone doesn't want to change. Sometimes you want to help someone to change, but you're doing it from your heart because you want them to feel better and to have a better life. And they don't care, because they are simply not there. They're not in the place of their life where they want to be different, they want to be better and to feel better, because their mind is so focused on that version, on being like that there's nothing you can do. The sad thing is that we grow up in a very passive way of living. Like, for example, some things happen in your life and you will see adults saying, oh, that's life, what can you do, life sucks, but you keep living. What do you mean life sucks and I keep living? If I don't like my life, I can change it. If I don't like the way that I am, I can change it. If I don't like how you behave, I can't change you because you don't want to change. What I can do is remove you from my life. If you don't like someone and you ask them, please start doing this, like change, and they don't want to, leave them. If you hate the smell of smoke, don't stay with a smoker. And yeah, sometimes you can try to help someone and they just don't want to be helped. And that's exactly the situation with my mom. Like, I love my mom so much and I want her to be happy and I want her to have, a happier lifestyle and everything, more relaxed life. So I tell her, do shadow work. Like I bought her the shadow work journal. I send her videos to help her understand that, you know, you can manifest and you can have a more relaxed and enjoy your life a little bit more, and you don't have to be a slave to, you know, like your job and society and all of that and money. But she doesn't care. I tell her all the time, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, but she doesn't want to change. It's her comfort zone and she doesn't want to get out of there. And one day when she will want to, I'll be there to help her. But now I said I'm gonna stop saying anything, because it's worthless to, you know, just waste my time telling her do this, do that, and then she doesn't want to do that. And if you insist too much, people will start to hate you. Sometimes you want to do so much good that people literally start hating you. People start saying like, shut up, I don't want you, like I don't need your help. People love misery sometimes. People love being the victim, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's their life, and sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you need to let people hit rock bottom so that they can understand that what you were saying was right. Sometimes, you know, like again with the idea of the smokers, you see many stories of people that love smoking. Okay, they are addicted to nicotine. They will not stop smoking no matter the amount of advice that they receive. They will not stop smoking until the doctor tells them, if you don't stop smoking, you're gonna die in a couple of months because of lung cancer. And when they already have cancer, is that they stop smoking because they hit rock bottom and they're like, oh wait, actually I can't keep living like this. And then they change, and in that moment is that they will listen to you and hear your advice and decide to change and be like, I can change, help me change. To answer the question, can you change other people? No, but you can inspire them to change. And this leads me to, can you change yourself? And this is an absolutely well, it's a yes, but at the same time it's a no, because it depends on you. Do you believe that you can change? If you don't believe that you can change, then you will never change. You will just stay the same forever. Your life will stay the same forever. You will be miserable forever. If you want to change, you can, okay? But it's not easy. It's not like one day you wake up and like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, and you become a millionaire. Or I want to get rid of this addiction, and you will get rid of the nicotine addiction. Like, it's not gonna happen like that. You cannot change in one day. You can't remove years of personality being built, of traumas being built, of beliefs being built in one day. But you can start with consistency and persistence to change and build your new character. Now, people will say you can't change. That's not true. Don't listen to these people. Don't listen to them. You can always change, and you can always be better, and you can always be happier. You can always aspire to be a better version of yourself, and you can literally decide. Now, I want to tell you how you can actually change. So change can happen in any possible way. Of course, if you want to be better, you want to change. Like, who would want to change for the worse? But if you want to change for the better, you need to go and heal everything that makes you be more negative, whether it's to feel more negative things or to have more negative reactions or behaviors or triggers you. So this is shadow work. You cannot be better if you don't heal, because in your subconscious mind there are all of these past versions, and most of these versions, they have some type of trauma. Big traumas, small traumas, but they still affect you. And sometimes you will literally have a response that is the same response that maybe your teenage self would have had, but that's because that same version of you, it's there, and you didn't learn the lesson. What do I mean by you didn't learn the lesson? So life, it's constantly teaching you things. Bad or good things, when they happen, they're there to teach you something. All of these past version of you, they still live within you. And every single experience, like sometimes something really bad can happen. And I'm not here saying it happened because you deserved it, because that's not true. But sometimes certain things happen and there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is heal from them and learn the lesson, because again, everything that happens is there to teach you something. You probably experienced once in your life something like this, like an awful situation happening to you, and then realizing actually that happened for me to receive this other type of blessing. The universe works in mysterious ways, okay? When things happen to you, you're basically receiving a lesson through experience. Are you going to assimilate the lesson? That's on you. And the best way, in my opinion, to literally take in the lesson is by analyzing what happened and then release it if it's something traumatic, and take what good came from it. And this is basically shadow work. Now, I could make a whole entire video on how to do shadow work. I'm not gonna get into specifics on how to do that here, but shadow work can be, I think it's really important for you to change, because you cannot be better unless you do your shadow work. If you don't do your shadow work, what is going to happen is that you're going to create a new personality, you're going to be different, but what you're doing is like putting a band-aid on a huge wound, like a big wound. You can't see the wound for a while, but then underneath the band-aid, stuff is happening, and sooner or later it's gonna get really bad and you're gonna have to go to the hospital. Okay, this is what happens if you don't do your shadow work. The wound will keep being there and can be worse, because what you're doing is that you're neglecting your shadow self, your traumas, the painful experiences. You're not taking the lesson, and once you do take the lesson, it's like you are actually cleaning the wound and like stitching it up instead of a band-aid. Now, if you do your shadow work, you're learning lessons and you're growing, and as you're doing your shadow work, you need to understand who you want to be. If you don't know who you are, it's going to be harder to know where you want to go, and I have a whole video on how to understand who you are. You can go and watch that. Now, let's say that you know who you are. Create your new personality. You can literally create a whole new character. You can even give this new character another name if it makes it easier. If it makes it easier for you to move on from your past. Sometimes your past, it's so like overwhelming that you need to literally rebrand your life 100%. You need to turn your life entirely upside down and create a new character. Do that. Take a piece of paper and write down who you want to be, your personality traits, your job, your passions, your hobbies, the partner that you want, the type of lifestyle that you want. Write it all down. You need to see it, and then find ways to get closer to that. If you don't know how, take inspiration from influencers, or actors, or even better, from TV show characters, movie characters, book characters. Take inspiration from them. Start dressing like them if it makes you feel more confident. But take inspiration to be someone better. As I said, you cannot change one day to another. The only way for you to change is if you really persist with it. If you fall back into bad habits, it becomes some kind of addiction. You being stuck to the past version of you, having certain type of behaviors and reacting a certain way. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, but you can change if you stay there. You need to get out of there. You need to heal, and you need to grow, and you need to be persistent. So find things that are more aligned with the new version of you and start doing them, whether it's a new hobby, or dressing in a certain way, or speaking in a certain way, changing your hairstyle. Whatever feels right, do that and embody this new personality. I know that some people think you should be yourself. Yeah, but why can't I choose who I want to be? It's very easy to be the version of you that other people created, because when we are children, we don't have a lot of control. We become who basically the people around us tell us to be. We grow by kind of like copying these people. Kids copy everything that their parents do, so we literally grow up to be like them, to be like our parents, or the people that raised us, our siblings. I don't have siblings, but like siblings, friends. We grow up to be like other people, and then certain things happen and you suddenly are the victim of something, and it's easy to stay in this victim position. But why can't you learn and just be better? If you don't like who society and the people around you created, change that. Be better. Create a whole new personality. People might think that they know you. Well, they don't know you. You might not even know yourself. Understand who you want to be. You could still be yourself, but sometimes your true self is hidden under all of these other versions that people affected. Like they created that. Maybe one day your teacher told you that you are super dumb, and you start to become dumb because you believe them, while inside you're very smart. Maybe you have a passion for psychology that you never knew because they told you that you are dumb. So now you need to find out that that's actually your passion. So get to know yourself, persist in this new version of you, and now that you changed and that you are better and that you are happier, is that you can affect other people. You can change other people by being an example, because people will see you being happy and amazing and like really being this new and better version of yourself, and then they're like, wait, I actually want to be like her. Some people are gonna be triggered and they're gonna start thinking, oh my gosh, she is such a annoying person, she thinks that she's better than everyone. Well, yeah, that's their problem because they are insecure. But the people that are ready to change and they see that you changed and that you are better, they're gonna be like, if she did it, I can do it too. And you're going to basically be the example and the inspiration and the motivation that these people need to be better, to change. You cannot sit there and wait for other people to change. But if you really want to have an impact on other people, be your best self. It's like revenge. The best revenge, it's having a glow up, because people are going to see you and they're going to be like, why isn't she miserable? People want you to be miserable because misery loves company. But also people want to feel better. So to summarize, can people change? Yes, 100%. We're always changing. But if we want to make the change stick, it's another thing. Because again, everyone is constantly changing, but it's easy to fall back into old patterns because they still live inside of our mind. The way for us to truly change is if we persist and we really stick to the new version of us, if it's a good version. If it's not, we should let it go. We can change. People can change. Honestly, someone can change and you think, oh my gosh, they're different, they're better. And then something happens. They get triggered and suddenly their old self is back. And then other people around them are going to start saying it was just a wolf wearing a sheep costume. No, it was not. They were trying to be better, unless we're talking about narcissistic people. They were just being different, then they didn't do the healing and the band-aid came off and they actually, the wound was exposed and it was not that good. So they fell back into old patterns. This is how you change, in my personal opinion. Yes, people can change. Don't sit around waiting for other people to change. The best thing you can do is tell them once. And if they don't care, let them go. Either stop telling them that or just remove them from your life, and then have your best glow up. And if they really are meant to grow, and if they're really emotionally and mentally intelligent, they will think, actually my life sucks, let me try to be better. Actually, I am a bad person, let me try to be better. If they don't want to change and there's nothing that you can do to change them, let them go. It's not worth it wasting your time over these people. So you can change if you want. If you don't believe that you can change, then you will never change. So believe in yourself, believe that everything is constantly changing. Just believe that you can be always a better version of yourself. And if you don't like who you are right now, create a new person. You create a new alter ego, okay? So guys, I really hope that you like this video. Let me know if you want to know more of my advices. You can subscribe to my channel and we'll see each other next time in the next video. Okay, thank you so much guys. Bye.